All right. So if you want to take your shoes off, if you want to take your socks off, you can go ahead and do that. I know some of you have brought your towels. That's a good thing because the floor I know is a little bit chilly. So if you want to just press your feet down into the floor or into your block, if you're on a block, that's okay too. And then lift up your toes a little bit. Press a little more weight into the heels and into the balls of your feet. And then see if you can just let your toes float back down to the floor. And then using your sort of inner sense, are all of the bottoms of your toes touching the floor, or are some of the toes actually not touching the floor, right? So can you feel the big toes? Can you feel, are your big toes touching the floor on the bottom? Some people's big toes are not going to be touching the floor because maybe they're crossed over the other toe. And then what about the second, third, fourth, and fifth toes? So can you feel them on the floor? And what does that feel like, right? Do you have to work at it? Do you have to push down? Or do they just kind of hang out there on their own? And then what about your heels? If you press into your heels, press firmly into your heels and see if you can feel your leg muscles activate. And then press, as you're pressing into your heels, press into the balls of your feet. And when I say the balls of your feet, I mean right here. There's like where your toes sprout out of your foot, right? So it's the big toe ball mound all the way to the little toe ball mound. So as you're pressing into the heels and you're pressing into the balls of your feet, notice if you're leaning forward, maybe you're looking at your feet, so you're kind of leaning forward. See if you can lean back a little bit so that your shoulders are right above your hips. So you're pressing into your feet, your shoulders are above your hips, and then press into your sitting bones. So where your sitting bones are on the chair, notice maybe you're leaning more to one side or the other, maybe you're leaning a little forward on the sitting bones or a little bit back. So you're just going to press right down into the sitting bones. And then notice your neck and your head. Are you keeping your chin up a little bit? Are you turning your head in some fashion? Can you let your chin come back a little bit so that your head is your ears rather are directly above your shoulders? Right? So if you're not sure, you can kind of take your fingers and your thumbs and go from your shoulders to your ears. If your head is forward, it'll feel like that. So you might need to bring your head back a little bit just to kind of get that measurement. So you're pressing into your feet, you're pressing into your sitting bones, your shoulders are right above your hips, your ears are above your shoulders, and you're breathing. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes, do that if you haven't already. And shift the focus now to your breath almost exclusively. So let go of all of this doing in your body. Just relax your body. And feel the air moving in and out of your nose. If it's difficult to breathe in and out through your nose, try breathing in through your nose and maybe blowing out through pursed lips, as if you're blowing out a candle. And notice, is your breath fast or slow? Is it shallow or deep? Can you get a sense of the temperature of the air as you inhale and the temperature of the air as you exhale? Does the breath move more freely through one nostril or the other, or is it fairly even? And now see if you can really lengthen your breath. As you breathe in, see if you can breathe into a slow count of 4. And as you breathe out, see if you can breathe out to a slow count of 4. And again, breathing in and out to a slow count of 4 on each of the inhalations and exhalations. Breathing in and out to 4. Notice if there's a pause in the breath. So between the inhalation and exhalation, there's a little pause. And between the exhalation and the subsequent inhalation, there's another little pause. Take in another full deep breath, and when you get to the top of that inhalation, pause a little extra and see if you can take in more breath before letting that out with a sigh. Let your eyes open. I'm going to start a little movement with the head first. So bring your chin down and up like you're saying a very slow motion yes. Now as you bring your chin down, see if you can get it close to the little notch between your collarbones. So it's like you're trying to tuck your chin into that little notch between the collarbones. And that means not just pulling the chin down, but pulling back as well. And you don't have to lift your head up too high. We get too much extension in the front of the neck anyway, meaning we lift the chin too much when we're doing stuff, when we're just kind of sitting. It's this tucking of the chin that we need a little bit more of. So the next time that your chin is tucked, you're going to hold here and breathe. And pull the chin back toward that little notch in the collarbones again. And as you do, see if you can create a swallow, right? So swallow here. And notice it might feel like your swallowing is kind of restricted. If it does, and it feels really uncomfortable, you can lift your chin a little bit, try a swallow, and then go back. We're going to do that 3 times. So don't do 3 in a row. Do 1, and then take a couple of breaths. And then do your second one, your second swallow. And again, take a couple of breaths. And then your third swallow. And a couple of breaths. And then you can lift your chin up. And we're just going to slowly turn the head from side to side. So right to left or left to right, whatever you like. Now as you turn your head, try not to turn your shoulders or your body. This is just about the neck right now, and specifically the upper part of your neck where your head is. And notice as you turn to the left how far you can see, and as you turn to the right how far you can see. So most of us have a little more range in one direction than the other. And the next time you're looking over your right shoulder, let's kind of pause here. And as you're looking over that right shoulder, see if you can slide your shoulders back a little bit more. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Still looking out over that right shoulder. See if you can turn your head a little farther. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then release the shoulder blades. Let the shoulders come back to that center place. Turn back to the center. And then we're going to go over to the left. So same thing, you're looking out over that left shoulder, and now squeeze your shoulder blades together. Bring your shoulders behind your ears more, right? So down and behind. So when we squeeze the shoulder blades together, the shoulder blades come down. Breathing in, breathing out. See if you can turn your head a little bit farther. And then release the shoulders, come back to center. We're going to do that one more time. So turn and look out over the right shoulder. Go as far as you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And as you're squeezing your shoulder blades together and you're turning your head a little bit farther, give yourself a little swallow here. Breathing in, breathing out. And then releasing the shoulders, coming back through center. We're going to go over to that left side. Same thing. So turn the head first as far as you can. Then squeeze those shoulder blades together and down, right? So the shoulder tops are down away from the ears. Another good, healthy swallow here. Release the shoulders, coming back to center. Excellent. So let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. And as you take your right ear to your right shoulder, see if you can relax your hands and your arms. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Take your right hand, bring it up and around the head to the left side, kind of where your ear is, and then just rest your hand on your head and let the weight of your arm give a little bit of traction here. So you're not pulling on your head, but you're letting your arm relax a little bit, and that'll provide a little bit of weight. If you have any pain in your neck when you do this, you don't have to let the arm be relaxed. You can actually keep it active. Breathing in, breathing out. So as you're holding here, so you got your head in your hand and you've got your hand on your head, engage the muscles on the left side of your neck as if you could lift your head up, but you're not lifting your head up because you're pressing into your hand. If that makes sense. So you press your head into your hand and your hand into your head, and you don't let your head move, but you can feel those muscles on the left side of your neck really active. Breathe in, breathe out. And then relax all of that. So don't pull your head, just keep your hand there, but relax these neck muscles. Good. And then release your hand and slowly bring your head back up to center. Pause for a moment. Take a breath in and out. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. So as the left ear comes down to the left shoulder, relax your hands and your arms. Relax all the muscles here in the neck, the jaw, the face. And then take your left hand, sweep it out and around, place it on the right side of your head near your right ear, and then relax that arm. So once again, the weight of the arm is providing a gentle little traction here for the neck. And now you're going to engage the muscles here in the right side of the neck and the top of the shoulder, and you're going to press your head into your hand and press your hand into your head. So it's like you're trying to lift your head up, but your hand is not allowing that to happen. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then relax all of that, keeping the hand there, just providing a little bit of weight. And then release your hand, let your hand come back down, slowly bring your head back up. Close your eyes for a moment and just check in with your neck and your shoulders. Just notice what you feel in your neck and your shoulders. Breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes open, and then we're going to look all the way up and to the left. So turn like we're looking up at something very interesting up there. And then you're going to turn your head and look all the way down to the right. So breathe in, breathe out as you continue to turn and look up to the left, and turn and look down to the right. So it's this diagonal movement with your eyes and your face. And you're breathing in and breathing out as you're doing this, and try to keep the rest of your body relaxed so you're not twisting your body. Again, we're still just working on those neck muscles a little bit here. And then you can let your head drift back to center. So just notice for a minute what it feels like to come back to center after being kind of diagonal like that. And then we're going to turn and look down and to the left and up and to the right. And continue down and to the left and up and to the right, and breathing in and breathing out. And notice if you have a different range of motion here, if there's greater range, lesser range on this side when your head is in this position. And then the head comes back to center. Good. Take a moment here. Again, you've sort of been a little bit off kilter, so just notice what that feels like. And then we're going to take the shoulders and bring them up to the ears and then roll them back and down and around. So take some nice deep breaths in and out here. A nice slow motion movement with the shoulders. Feel those muscles right here in the tops of the shoulders that come up into the neck. So for a lot of us, these muscles are tight. They're kind of chronically tight. And then let's reverse the direction of these nice slow shoulder circles. So go up and around the other way. And keep breathing in and out. And notice what's happening, not just here in the tops of your shoulders, but what about the back where your shoulder blades are? Can you feel some movement back there? And then relax that a little bit. Good. And then we're going to take the arms forward. And as you take the arms forward, press your palms toward me. And as you press your palms, toward me. See if you can pull your shoulder blades off your back. So it's like you're rounding through the upper part of your back. I'm kind of giving you that visual here. And keep your head from doing this. So you want to keep your chin kind of tucked in a little bit. And then we're just going to pull back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And again, keep your head from doing this. So the tendency is to jut your chin out when you're doing these movements. See if you can keep your head right over your shoulders. So we're pressing, and then we're kind of coming back, right? So that's the movement. So now we're going to add a little bit more to this. So as you press out, spread your fingers really wide, press, 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 and then make strong fists and pull back, right? So press, 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 strong, strong fingers, and pull back with really strong fists. And now let's breathe out as we push, and breathe in as we pull. Good. Keep going. And do the best you can. So I know everybody's working with some different things, right? So you might have a shoulder injury that doesn't allow you to have this kind of range of movement. Maybe it's one side, maybe it's both. Just do the best you can. Go to that edge where maybe there's a little discomfort, but never into that place where there's pain. So the next time you're extended, you're going to hold here for a moment. And as you hold here, I'm going to have you take your left hand and pull back. So we're pushing forward with the right, and we've got a fist here on the left, and we're pulling back, right? And then we're going to switch. So we're pulling back with a fist, and we're pushing forward with the palm, and see if you can get a little bit of a twist here in that upper back as well. So resist the urge to go all in with your lower back like this, right? See if you can get that from the upper back, right? So nice and slow. And are you breathing? Good. Couple more. So really strong. Next time you have one arm forward and one arm back, hold here. Breathe. Push forward a little more. Pull back a little more. Breathe in and out. So this should be a little challenging. I can tell by your faces it is. Nobody's smiling. And then we're going to switch. Right? So we're pushing, pushing, pushing. Really pull back with that other arm. Good. And then relax all that. Let your hands come to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel what's happening in your neck, your shoulders, your arms. So we do a little bit of work here for the arms. Taking a breath, let it out with a sigh. Open your eyes. So bring your feet a little closer together. Take your arms down by your sides. We're going to make light fists here. So your arms are kind of hanging down. So imagine you got 5 pounds in each hand, right? So 5 pounds in each hand. We're going to squeeze a little bit. So we're squeezing from here all the way up, right? So squeeze those arm muscles. And then we're going to slowly bring the arms up, and we're going to bring them down, right? So it's like a curl, right? So if you had dumbbells in your hands, 5-pound dumbbells in your hands, right? And now when you get down, this time you're going to turn your arms out to the sides and go out to the sides. Keep the elbows tucked in tight to your body. Very slow on the release, right? So 5 pounds. Really squeeze your fingers. Squeeze all the muscles in your arms all the way up. Right? Can you feel that? Okay. And the next time that you come halfway down in the front, we're going to hold here. Really squeeze all the muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as hard as you can. Let's do this for 5 breaths. So every muscle is squeezed from your fingers all the way up to your shoulders, but not your jaw, not your neck, not your face. That's all doing well. Where are we? Is that 2 breaths? That's 3? Okay. I'll take your word for it. 7, will you get to do 10 then? So I'd say we're getting close to 5, right? Somewhere around there. Okay. Once you feel like you've got 5, just release. Drop those weights. Let your arms hang down by your sides. Close your eyes for a moment. Take some breaths and just notice what your arms feel like. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. All right. So take your arms at about a 90-degree angle from your body, and you can have your hands kind of relaxed. And what we're going to do here is just bring the elbows up and then down, right? So you don't want your elbows to come up above your shoulders, and you don't want to lift with your shoulders. So I'll show you what a shoulder lift looks like, right? So we don't want to do that. We're just doing this with the arms. So for some of us, we're going to come up about that far and that's it. Right? Got that? Fairly easy? Comfortable? For some? For others, this might be really challenging. Okay, so now get some light weights in your little hands. So let's say like 2 pounds, right? And bring your arms out a little farther. So in other words, instead of having your elbows really bent like this, have them out a little bit more, right? So we go up and then down. And as you're doing this, couple things. Squeeze all these muscles here in the outer part of your shoulder as you lift. Squeeze. Squeeze your hands. Relax your face. Breathe in, breathe out, right? Next time that you have your arms out to the sides, whenever you get there, you're going to hold. Okay, so we're going to hold and breathe. Relax your shoulders. Squeeze your arm muscles. So everything here, all the way up, squeeze those arm muscles. Breathe in, breathe out. Squeeze a little harder. Ooh, you can do that, I can tell. A couple faces just went, oh. Yeah, there we go. How we doing, okay? Yeah, this is hard, right? Not easy, no, and there's no weights, right? But we're activating muscle fibers here. We're actually strengthening the arms a little bit here. So can you come down about 10 degrees? Not very much. Breathe in, breathe out, relax your shoulders. Relax your neck and jaw. Let's come down another 10 degrees. Keep those muscles really strong though, really, really strong. Another 10 degrees. Keep those muscles super strong. So as you're coming down, can you feel the muscle engagement changing up in your shoulders? Yeah. How about 10 more degrees? Okay, that's the last one. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax your arms, close your eyes, let your arms hang down by your sides. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel all those muscles in your arms that you didn't even know you had. And they're all awake now. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Okay, shake out the arms a little bit. All right, so we're going to take the arms at a little 90-degree angle, right? And now from this little 90-degree angle, we're going to go back as far as we can without jutting the chin forward. So this is not the posture we want. We want to keep the posture up so the shoulders are above the hips and the ears are above the shoulders, but we're bringing the arms back. So all the work is happening back here in the shoulder blade area. And from here now, we're going to get little light weights again. Let's go with like 2 pounds, right? Squeeze those weights. And then we're going to extend the arms and then slowly come back in, right, to that starting position. So with the back of the chair, you might have to bring your arms out a little farther, right? Relax your neck and your jaw. So try to do this without engaging, without coming forward like this. So we're trying to keep the shoulders above the hips and the ears above the shoulders. So we're getting some strong arms today, strong shoulders today. Breathing in, breathing out. Next time you've got your arms extended, we're going to hold there and breathe, right? And squeeze those muscles. So it's all the muscles here in the back of the arm, right? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze a little bit more. Can you squeeze more? Can you lift a little higher? Can you breathe while you're doing all of that? Whew, it's getting harder to breathe, right? Yeah. Do you feel some shaking in your arms? Yeah, little tingling maybe? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening back there. Okay, how about one more deep breath in? And as you exhale, relax everything. Oh my goodness, let your arms hang down by your sides, close your eyes. Feel how heavy those arms are right now, right? Holy moly. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. All right, let's stretch the arms a little bit. So take your hands together, interlace your fingers, and then we're going to press the palms away. Drop your chin to your chest. Really stretch the arms out a little bit. If you can, if it's available to you and you can bring your arms up overhead with the fingers interlaced, do that. If that doesn't work, you can bring your hands apart and do it that way, or even up as far as you can go, right? So breathing in, breathing out, and then we're going to sweep the arms out to the sides, all the way down. We're going to do that again. Interlace the hands the opposite way now. So whichever thumb was on the top before is now on the bottom. We're going to press away. Should feel weird. Should feel a little weird. Breathing in, breathing out. Weird means more neural activity, right? So when it's comfortable, your brain doesn't have to work quite so hard because it's just something that you always do. And it's like, oh yeah, this is totally comfortable. I don't have to think about this. As soon as it gets weird, the brain says, what is going on? I need to pay attention. Usually it's on autopilot, right? So this should be the last weird time, right? Ooh. Up, breathing in, breathing out, and out and around and down. Good. Let's take that right arm, sweep it over to the left, and we're just going to pull on that arm. That should feel really good after all the strengthening exercises we just did. So just pulling that arm over to the left. Now you're going to turn your head to the right and turn your head back. So we'll do that a couple of times, just turning the head to the right and then coming back to center. Good. And one more time. And coming back to center. Excellent. Release that arm. Let's take the other arm, sweep it over to the right. We're going to pull that arm across. So again, we're stretching through the shoulder and that upper arm. Turn and look out over the left shoulder and then come back to center and breathe in, breathe out. And again, turn and look out over the left shoulder and back to center. And last time, we're going to turn and look out over that left shoulder. Come back to center. Excellent. Release that arm. Take your right arm, sweep it around behind your back. So let it rest on the small of your back, just kind of resting the arm back there. Take your left hand, grab hold of the right, and just give it a little gentle encouragement over to that left side. So again, stretching the shoulder, stretching the arm muscles a little bit, and drop your left ear to your left shoulder, and then come back up. We'll do that just 2 more times. So dropping the ear to the shoulder, coming back up. And last time, ear to the shoulder and back up. Excellent. Release that arm now. Take your other arm, sweep it around behind your back. Same thing. Grab hold of that hand. Give it a real gentle little encouragement over to that right side. And then we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and back up and breathe in, breathe out. Excellent. And one more time. Great. Release that arm. Let your hands rest on your lap. Close your eyes again for a moment. Take a breath in and out and just notice your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your upper back, your chest perhaps. And what about your elbows and your forearms? A little bit of the wrists. We've stretched a little bit of the fingers when we did the interlacing of the fingers. Nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes can gently open. All right. How's that upper body feeling? Awake? Yeah. Did you get introduced to some muscles that you didn't know you had? Good. All right. So we're going to shift focus. We're going to go right down to those wonderful feet, right? So look down at your feet. Look down and appreciate your feet, right? Oftentimes we look with a very critical eye at the feet, right? It's, oh, that toe is wonky, or my toenail is wonky, or something is just not right, right? So who cares? Do they get you around? Yeah, that's their job, right? To get you around, right? You don't get extra credit for looks. It's all function, right? It's all function. Okay, so kind of looking down at the feet, keep your heels and the balls of your feet. So that's these 3 points, right? So you got the big and little toe ball mound, and you got the heel. We're going to keep those on the floor, and you're just going to lift and lower your toes. Lift and lower your toes. And notice as you're lifting and lowering your toes, do they stay straight when you lift? Or do they kind of move in one direction? Does your big toe move toward the little toes when you lift? Do the little toes move toward the outside or the inside when you lift? Do they lift all together easily? Usually they go along as a set pretty well. So the next time you have them lifted up, just kind of hold them there. And then see if you can press your big toes down. Not all the other ones, just the big toes. And then lift. So we're pressing and lifting, right? Pressing and lifting. And again, notice as you're pressing down, are the big toes moving straight down? Are they moving toward the other toes? Are they moving away from the other toes? Are the other toes trying to ride shotgun there? Are they trying to get down there on the floor? Right? So just kind of noticing that. Are you able to hold those other toes up? And then the next time you lift all your toes, kind of hold those. And then let's take all the little toes and press down and lift and press and lift, right? And breathe as you're doing this. And notice how they work, right? Do they work as a group? All together, all 4 of those little toes? Are they kind of scared to go move down without their big toe with them, right? So that's like the big toe has to come along for the ride. Are you able to breathe in and out easily as you're doing this? Yeah. Okay. And then release all your toes back down to the floor. Okay, so slide your feet back just a little bit, and we're going to come up on the toes. So we're giving a little bit of a stretch. And then take just your right heel to the floor and see if you can lift your right toes up a little bit. And then switch sides, right? So we're having one heel up and one heel down, and come way up on the toes. So imagine you're doing like point, right? Any ex-dancers in the room? Yeah. So you come up on your toes like a ballerina, right? So see if you can come right up on that big toe. Oh, that's a little harder to do, right? So you might shift your feet out farther from your body, or you might shift your feet in closer to your body. So kind of play with that. What feels appropriate for you, right? Because we're all a little bit different. Now, as you're doing that, you have to actually create some strength in the big toe to get up on that, right? Yeah. Next time you have your right big toe on the floor and you're in the dancer position on your right big toe, hold there and breathe. And then switch sides. Go the other side. Hold there and breathe. Okay. And then let's come up on the toes again. So we're doing like a heel lift here, right? So really heel lifting. So all the toes are flat on the floor if you can, right? If you can keep them all flat on the floor, lifting the heels as high as you can. Press down as if you were standing up, right? So again, you might have to bring your feet in a little bit or out a little bit. So just kind of decide where they go, right? So can you feel that pressure down into the roots of your toes there? Yeah, good. Okay, so let's walk the feet forward on this little Barbie foot, right? So we're still on the Barbie foot? Very good, right? Barbie's hot right now. Let's go forward. So we're keeping this little Barbie foot going. Yeah. Going forward and back. John is so happy to be in this class today. You got the whole place to yourself, John. I know. Good, here we go. So can we do a little Barbie foot to the right? And a little Barbie foot to the left. He's doing Ken, yeah. I'd like to see Ken do this. Okay, and then come back to center. All right, let's bring those heels back down. Whew. Yeah, right? Can you feel those muscles in your legs? Very nice. All right, so bring your feet back a little bit and keep your heels on the floor, right? So your feet are back a little bit, heels on the floor. Lift your toes and then place them down. So this should be hard, right? Can you lift up your toes? Now you might want to bring your feet forward to start. So we're lifting the toes and lowering down, right? So you get that feeling. And now slide your feet back a little bit and try doing it again. And as you're lifting your toes, press down into the balls of your feet so you feel your leg muscles activate, right? Oh, and I didn't say breathe, and that's kind of required in yoga class to say breathe. So breathe. So we're lifting and lowering. Excellent. All right, let's relax that. Whew. Bring your feet to a comfortable position, and then we're going to extend the right leg. Have your heel on the floor, and we'll point and flex the foot. So now we're moving from the ankle a little bit more, right? So we got a little movement in the toes, a little movement in the ankle. Tapping is okay. You can slide your foot too if it's just too hard to keep your leg lifted. And then let's circle around at the ankle. And reverse direction. Good. And then let's take the big toe and we're going to point and turn the foot and the whole leg so that the big toe is touching the floor, and then we're going to lift and turn so the little toe is touching the floor. So we're kind of going in and out. Right, a little in and a little out. So you get a little movement in your knee, little movement in your hip, little movement in your ankle. The least amount of torsion should be in the knee, so most of this movement is going to come from your ankle and your hip because those joints work in that way. The knee joint doesn't actually work in that way, not to a great degree. Okay, and then let's relax that foot. Bring it right back down, extend the other leg. So same thing, point and flex, breathe in, breathe out. Excellent. And then we'll start to circle at the ankle. And reverse direction. Good. And then pointing the foot and tapping the big toe, and then lifting and tapping the little toe. So we're keeping the leg as straight as we can, and we're just kind of rotating the leg so that you're getting the movement in the ankle and the hip, and also a tiny bit in the knee. Good. Okay, a couple more times here. Looking good. Oh, and then relax that, bend that knee, bring that foot to the floor. Okay, take a moment, just kind of notice your feet, your ankles a little bit at the knees and the hips, but we're going to move up into the knee now and do some real work on the knees. So if you have your hands right alongside your hips, that's going to help keep that position that I've been talking about today, with the shoulders over the hips and the ears over the shoulders. So with the hands here, it helps prevent us from doing this. Right, so with the hands here, now engage your belly muscles. Pull the navel in and make your belly nice and strong. And imagine making the sides of your waist a little narrower too, kind of pulling everything in. We're going to take that right knee and bend and extend at the right knee. So nice and slow. Now as you extend, I want you to come into full extension and squeeze these muscles. Make them as strong as you can. And then as you bend, pull back like you could touch the bottom of your chair with your heel. So pull even more. So that's the muscles here in the back of the leg doing that work. So again, as we extend, we're going to pause for a moment and really feel that. And as we bend, same thing, we're just going to pause and really feel that. Right? Quads, yes, those are quads. So quads are quadriceps muscles. Those are the muscles here in the front of your thigh. Wow. And there are 4 of them, so that's why they're called quadriceps muscles, right? So the next time you have your leg extended, let's really test those quadriceps muscles. We're going to hold, bring your toes toward your shin a little bit more, raise your leg a little bit more if you can. Keep breathing. That's a requirement, not a suggestion. That one is definitely a requirement. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lower the leg down, not all the way to the floor, maybe 20 degrees, and then you're going to come back up. Oh, yes. Lower 20 degrees and then come back up. No bending at the knee, right? So the knee is straight. It's these muscles that are really strong. If this is too much, press into your hands a little bit more. Don't forget your belly is working. Don't forget to breathe. Get a little burning in the thigh. Little tingling, yeah? Shaking, okay. Bad thoughts, that's okay. I can handle it. I can handle it. And this time we're going to lower all the way down. Keep that leg straight, straight, straight as you go all the way down. When your heel touches the floor, relax that leg, bend your knee. Whew. Give that thigh a little massage. So we're doing a lot of strengthening work today. See, you forgot all about your arms, right? That's the whole goal. We just keep moving to body parts, and then before you know it, you'll be like, oh, okay. Okay, so same thing on the other side. So again, just keeping the hands here just reminds me that my shoulders are over my hips and my ears are over my shoulders, and then we're just going to bend and extend. So again, really slow. So when you go fast, you're working in momentum, and you're working more of the connective tissue in your body. Which is called fascia. Some of you might know what your fascia is. Maybe some of you know what it is because you've had plantar fasciitis and you've had that pain in your foot. So fascia is throughout your whole body. When you work slowly, you're actually conditioning the muscles a little bit better, and you're also conditioning the fascia. So the next time that you extend that leg, I want you to think about really squeezing, squeeze, 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 right? So these are the quads on this side. You have quadriceps on the right and quadriceps on the left. And then when you bend, it's like you're trying to pull your heel right up to touch the bottom of the chair. Get that up there a little bit more. You'll feel the hamstring muscles in the back. They're actually working. And then again, extend, hold, breathe, and bend. Really, really squeeze those muscles. So make the legs nice and strong. Good. Whew. Okay, next time you extend, now hold and breathe. So we're going to be here for a couple of breaths, right? So this right foot is on the floor supporting you, right? So the foot is flat on the floor supporting you. Hands are supporting you as well if you need be, right? So pull your toes toward your shin. Activate that foot a little bit more. Now you're going to drop that leg just 20 degrees. Keep it straight, and then you're going to lift it back up. And drop it 20 degrees. And lift back up. 2 more times, you guys. Right? And 1 more time. This leg should be burning a little bit too, and shaking perhaps. Yeah. Good. And then see if you can slowly lower down. When that heel finally touches the floor, thank God it's there, right? Bend your knee, give that leg a little massage. Who had that same experience? Yes, right? Isn't that interesting, right? So typically that means that the side that had a harder time is not as strong as the side that had an easier time of it. So I always look at that as an opportunity for more strength, right? So if I'm really kind of if it's noticeable like that, I might do either a little bit longer on the weaker side, or I might do an extra set on the weaker side. So maybe I'll do 1 or 2 times with that exercise on my side that's strong, and then I'll do 2 or 3 times on the other side to start to build it. It's sometimes, but not always, your dominant leg. And when I say dominant leg, I mean the one that leads when you go upstairs, when you have to walk, step over something. But it's not always that. Yes, right, sorry. Yes, so sometimes the stronger leg is your dominant leg, but sometimes the stronger leg is your non-dominant leg, right? So my dominant leg, I lead when I go up the stairs, right? But when I'm standing and I'm holding something, I lean into my non-dominant side. So my non-dominant side might be stronger. Same thing with your arms, right? So if you think about it, my dominant side, I can open the door, I can do all kinds of things because this hand and arm know what to do. The non-dominant side is always holding the bundles. So it's stronger. It's not as mobile. Yeah, it's not as pliable as the other side, but it's definitely stronger. All right. Okay, so let's do a little bit of work for the hips. We're going to scoot over to the right side and keep facing forward, please. All right, and then let's just take that right leg, lift it up, bring it out to the side, over and down, right? So notice how smooth or not smooth that was. So let's lift up again. We're going to bring it in and back and down. So that's the whole movement. We're just going to do this nice and slow, and see if you can do this without engaging your upper body, right? So I can do this. I can get my leg way out here when I lean to the side. I have nowhere near that range when I'm just using my hip muscles, right? So we're just kind of coming up and over. Notice if your belly muscles are engaged. I'm going to fall off my chair up here, right? Notice if you're leaning. Notice if you're breathing. What happens if you lift higher? What happens if you lift lower? So try both of those things, right? Do a low lift and do a high lift. And breathe. Okay. Next time you come back to center and your leg is lifted and the knee is bent, you're going to hold here and breathe. Right? Oh, those are some different muscles, right? Yeah. Can you bring your knee up to your chin a little more? Oh, yeah. Interesting, right? No. No, she says, not at all. And then see if you can slowly lower down. Oh, let's take that leg now and we're going to sweep it back and around. Bring it back as far back as you can. So the inside of your big toe and the inside of your heel are on the floor, right? And then you're going to take this right hip and push the right hip forward. And then back. and push forward and back. Now if the knuckles of your toe or the side of your heel hurts on the floor, because that's kind of a tough floor, you can turn your foot in a direction that makes it a little more comfortable for the bones in your foot. So we're pushing this hip forward and then coming back. Everybody okay? Nobody's going to fall off the chair? Okay, one more time, pushing forward and back. Good. Yes, yes. Compared to some of the others. I try to balance it, Ellen. Try to balance it. Let's take that right foot now. We're going to walk it around, right? So we did a little strengthening and then followed that up with a little stretching. So let's scoot over to the left side. Okay, so you just want to find that spot on your chair where you're over enough that you can lift, but not so much that you're going to fall off. So same thing. Think about your posture. Think about where you're moving from, right? So I can move from my upper body and then my leg will go. But to move from the hip, to move from my leg, and to move from the hip flexors is a whole different perspective. So just kind of keeping your hand here, this kind of keeps you in integrity. We're going to lift that left leg, sweep it out, and then place it down. Same thing. Lift up, come back, and in. And we're going to continue to do this movement. So yeah, make whatever adjustment you need to on your chair so that your backside is comfortable. Breathe in, breathe out. Try lifting high, try lifting low. You know, there's that combination. Because when you lift high, the angle of your leg, so if this is your leg bone and that's your hip socket, when you lift high, the angle of that hip socket is, the angle of the bone in the hip socket is different than when you lift low. And one is not better than the other. So it's not like how high can I lift my leg, it's can I lift through that whole range? Do I have that whole range there? And I didn't offer this on the other side, but if it gets really too intense, you can just slide your foot too. So for somebody who's like rehabbing from hip surgery, just sliding the leg in and out can be an important part of that. So next time you bring your leg back to the center, to like the front rather, we're going to hold here with that leg lifted. Bring your toes toward your shin a little bit more. Lift your knee up toward your chin. Try not to lean back. Right? So if you're leaning back to do this, see if you can come right up, have that hand here on the chair, breathe in, breathe out. And if you're gripping that chair, let go a little bit, right? Can you lift a little higher? Yeah. How's this side? Is it stronger than the other side? No. Yes. Some people say, cramp. Yes. If you have a cramp, yes. Obey the cramp. Absolutely. So can you lift just a little bit higher? Okay. Breathe in, breathe out. If you're holding your breath, then you're lifting too high. Oh, good. And then slowly lower down. Ooh-wee. Let's take that leg, let's slide it way back. Way back. Take that left hip. We're going to press the left hip forward and then relax. And press the left hip forward and relax. We'll do this just a few more times. So this is a little stretch. Good. Excellent. And one more time, forward and back. Excellent. Okay, bend that knee, use your heel and your toes, walk that leg back in, scoot back to the center of your chair. Okay, let your hands rest on your lap and close your eyes. Oh, breathe in, breathe out. Take a moment here just to notice your legs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, your thighs, your hips. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. Okay, and then let your eyes gently open. Bring your feet a little wider than your hips. And then thinking about where your legs come into your body. So right here, if you kind of put your hands like right there in the crease of your hips, what we're going to do is we're going to be leaning forward so that we're trying to make the hip crease smaller, but not folding from the back. So in other words, we're going to lean forward and get that crease smaller as opposed to this. Right? So you can see in this version, my back is nice and flat. And with my hands there, I can feel like if I could keep going forward, I could pinch my hands in the hip hinges here. Does that make sense to y'all? Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. And you're already doing it, which is great. So we're coming forward. So really see if you can pinch the fingers or the hands in the hip hinges. And if it's too much, if you have a lot of flexibility in your hips and your hands are like preventing you from going farther forward, just slide your hands forward a little bit. Some people have that flexibility in the hips, so you can really come forward as far as you can, keeping the back flat. Right? How's that going? Good. Okay, so this is more hip movement, right? We're doing more hip movement. Okay, just a couple more of these. You're feeling it in your knee? Where in your knee? Right there in your knee. Try sliding your feet forward a little bit. See if that helps. Yeah, okay, good. All right. How about one more time we come forward and we're going to hold. Great. So if you can, get your elbows and forearms on your knees. So we're having a quiet conversation, right? Yeah. So I've wanted to do a sports analogy, but I couldn't think of one. Like, who does this? What sport is this, you guys? Coaching. Yeah. Yeah, we look like we're coaching something. Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah, you can tell I'm a huge sports fan, right? Don't even know what this is. All right, so as you're holding here, right, so you got your elbows and forearms on your legs, see if you can get your spine longer. Push down into your hands, or I'm sorry, push down into your arms, and see if you can pull your shoulder blades toward your hips, getting your spine a little longer. Is that making sense? I'll say that again because that was fast. So push down into your elbows and forearms. Pull the shoulder blades down toward your hips without arching your back, and see if you can get your spine a little bit longer. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so from here, everybody's looking really good. So you got that nice straight spine. I'm going to have you turn and look out over your right shoulder and up toward the ceiling on the right. Breathe in, breathe out, and then come back to center. I'm going to do the same thing to the left. So you're just looking out to the left. So roll your right shoulder forward a little bit and then come back. And if you're not sure what I mean, have a look up here. So as I look right, I'm rolling the left shoulder in, and then I'm coming back. And I'm breathing, and I'm rolling that right shoulder in and coming back. One more time on each side. So you're really using the weight of your body on your arms to support your spine and your neck. Good. And then come back to center. Okay, so from here, you guys, take your right hand to your right thigh. Take your left hand to your left thigh and push yourself back up. Take your arms out behind you. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Tuck your chin in toward your collarbones. Breathe in, breathe out. And release and relax all of that. Let your hands rest on your lap. Make yourselves comfortable. If you want to sit into the back of your chair, you can do that. If you want to stay where you are, you can do that as well. Once you're there, close your eyes. Take some really full, deep breaths in and out. As you inhale and exhale, scan your body, starting at your toes. So notice where your toes are in space. Are they on the floor? Are some of your toes maybe crossed over on top of other toes? If you're barefoot, can you feel the temperature of the floor on the bottoms of your feet? Can you feel the temperature of the air on the tops of your feet? And if you're in your socks, are you able to notice a temperature difference where you're making contact with the floor through your socks and where you're not? And then what about your ankles? If your ankles are bare, can you feel the air around your ankles? Your legs, same thing. So maybe your lower legs are bare. Maybe you can feel the air, or maybe you have pants on that are covering the lower legs. And feel your knees. And what about your thighs, those quadriceps muscles in the front and those hamstring muscles in the back? And let's not forget the adductor muscles on the inside and your IT band on the outside. And what about your hips, the front, the back, the sides, your belly, your waist? Feel your rib cage. As you breathe in and out, can you feel your ribs expanding and contracting? Coming up into your shoulder blades in the back of your body, can you feel some movement in your shoulder blades as you inhale and exhale? And what about the shoulders and the shoulder tops? And the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers and thumbs. And your neck, where we started all this movement this morning in the neck, in the front, back, the sides. What does it feel like to swallow? Notice your jaw, the muscles of your face around your cheeks and your eyes. And then returning awareness to your breath, noticing the way air moves in and out through your nose. And if nose breathing is not possible, then breathing in as much as you can through your nose and perhaps breathing out through pursed lips. And does the air move evenly and smoothly between right and left nostrils, or is there a difference from side to side? Has it changed from when you first noticed your breathing at the start of class? Are you aware of temperature differences? Take a couple more really full deep breaths in and out. Then take your hands up to your chest and see if you can feel the chest rising and falling with each breath in and out. And then take a moment, if you'd like, maybe bringing your hands together and just take a little moment of appreciation for your breath. And then perhaps opening your eyes and just a little appreciation for being together with everybody here today. Yeah. Excellent. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next week. All right.